Our next guest says the mainstream media ignores racist attacks by liberals. In the Daily Beast, columnist Ron Christie, also a lawyer, writing about a Democratic PAC founder making racist remarks about Senate Minority Leader Mitch McConnell's wife. Now, Leader McConnell is married to former Labor Secretary Elaine Chao, and Ron Christie worked with Chao in the Bush administration, and Ron joins us. Nice to see you, and I should also say you're an adjunct professor. You teach courses, and used to be in the back row on Burden of Proof over at CNN.
20 years ago.
20 years ago. Right. Okay, so you write this article about what's the problem?
Well, the problem is I think there's a double standard that's going on in politics, Greta. I think if you are a person of color and you're a progressive or a Democrat, you can say whatever you want about a conservative person of color, and the media yawns, oh, no big deal. But if a conservative has something to say about a progressive who's a Democrat, oh my goodness, you're a racist, you're trying to bring back the clock, you're trying to do all these terrible things. And for me, I think racism is racism. We shouldn't be looking at people based on the color of their skin. You should be able to have a principled argument, a principled discussion on politics without throwing the race card in every 30 seconds.
What was it that they said about former Secretary of Labor Chao?
What they said was...
Or not they, a particular woman said.
A particular woman who was the head of a group called Elect Women, ironically enough. Yeah, I won't even go there. What Mitch McConnell, the Senate Minority Leader, has said was to try to diffuse this whole notion, this silly notion of a war on women. He said, I have a very strong woman in my wife, Elaine Chao, who was the first Asian American woman to serve as a cabinet secretary for a Republican president. And this woman said, well, oh, she's Asian, and George Bush brought that up. I'm like, what does her race have anything to do with it? And this is not the first time, Greta, that Secretary Chao has been attacked by Democratic operatives due to the color of her skin. I mean, if she's a tough woman. She can take it. She's been around the political water cooler. But if you're going to attack her based on race rather than her ideological positions, I think that's really a poor thing to do.
You know, I thought it was just awful what she said and what she tweeted. And I hate it when women are particularly stupid and horrible about that stuff. I mean, for some reason. And the mainstream media was virtually silent on it. I will give a shout-out, though, to the Democratic Party of Kentucky. They immediately condemned it. So good for them.
Good for them.
I mean, they can't do it if they've got some nutcase sending out racist remarks or sexist. There's really not much they can do.
And that's exactly the point. I think the Republican and the Democratic parties have an obligation where they see racism or they see bad behavior to immediately call it out. And I do get it in Kentucky and the Democratic Party of saying this has no place in our discourse.
It's really terrifying to me, though. I mean, this woman is active in a particular party politics here, Democrat. Yeah. She says something horribly racist, and the media is like...
well, it's crickets.
Yeah, it's just incredible. Anyway, Ron, always nice to see you.
Always a pleasure to see you, Greta. Thank you.
And